right, welcome folks to this exciting Division 5 state tournament game, round of 32. Your Pioneer Panthers hosting the West Boylston Lions. Tyler Borbo, Lou Bordeaux here, giving you the play-by-play action of this state game. It's been a while since we've seen you folks after the Western Mass Championship game. Lou, thank you so much for being here on this wonderful Monday afternoon.
Thank you, Tyler. Always a pleasure to be with you and to all of our viewers along the line on BNC TV and worldwide on YouTube. We, of course, were here at Pioneer yesterday to cover the girls' preliminary softball game. Things got a little out of control against Madison Park. Our scorecard, we pride ourselves on being as accurate as we possibly can, Tyler. I know we had a final score of 27-4. Actually, the score was 24-4, but there's some rules about gentlemen, I guess, I'd say gentlemen about the coaches rather than the female student athletes. A couple times, runners on third base were just given kind of a friendly out. Anyways, long story short, the final score of the game was actually 24-4. And the Pioneer girls softball team is playing as we speak out in Baldwinville against the Narragansett Warriors. We wish them all the luck in the world. And the big story yesterday, Jalen Beliski fancied a no-hitter. So congratulations to Jalen.
She did an excellent job, for sure.
And now we are ready for the boys baseball MIAA D5 round of 32. As you said, these are the West Boylston Lions. They got here by defeating Bourne on Saturday, 7-6 in Bourne. We got Ben Werner on the mound for Pioneer. This first batter is Steve Simpson. He's the center fielder for West Boylston. He'll be followed by Xander Sanchez and Don Renzoni here in the top of the first inning. You're pretty familiar with the Pioneer defensive lineup. Braden Tippenyuk behind home plate, catching Ben Werner today. And called strike three right off the bat.
Well, it wouldn't be a BNC TV broadcast without the count being off, so I apologize. It was not 1 and 2 on that one.
And
it was all strikes.
And I did notice they took our rickety old scoreboard away from us. They got a nice portable one over down the right field line. And that one's foul. No, it's a fair ball. Alex McClellan over to ET at first to retire Sanchez. Brings up catcher Don Renzoni. Rest of the Pioneer defense, first to third. We got Evan Tippenyuk, Ethan Quinn at second base. Pitched that dandy Western Mass Championship game last week. Alex McClellan is shortstop. Jackson Campbell is the third baseman. Left to right in the outfield, Ethan Mothy, Hodis, Hayden Gerard, and in right field, Jack Glazier. Renzoni offers that one. Fouled off home plate. Counts 1 and 2. Werner sets. And the pitch. Pounded into the ground. And rolls foul. Jackson Campbell with a nice hustle after that one. Count remains 1 and 2 on Don Renzoni. He'll be followed in the cleanup spot by Jack Petro, third baseman for West Boylston.
Well, we talk often about the wind and the weather. It is a beautiful sunny day out here at the Pioneer Valley Regional High School baseball field. I was talking with some of the coaches for West Boylston. They were telling me a little bit of details about their game against Bourne. And they said they were very, very close to the canal in Bourne, Massachusetts. And they were talking about how they would hit a fly ball into center field, and before you knew it, it had moved into foul territory and right. So
I've been out that
tough
way.
wind.
It's definitely a challenge. We were out in Bourne for the state hockey tournament back in March. A heartbreaking double overtime loss. So we won't talk anymore about Bourne. West Boylston 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first. Nothing across. West Boylston nothing. And your Pioneer Panthers coming to bat right here on BNC TV. Welcome back. Bottom of the first, Braden Tippenyuk leading off for Pioneer. Takes strike one right down the middle. That's Aiden Mosqueda on the mound for West Boylston. Fouled away, 0-2. Catcher for Aiden is Don Renzoni. Struck out to end the first inning. Ripped foul down the left field line. Count remains 1-2. BT will be followed by Jackson Campbell and Alex McClelland here in the bottom of the first inning. Familiar lineup for the Panthers.
All four. Braden Tippenyuk, Jackson Campbell, Alex McClelland, Ethan Quinn, Ethan Mothy, 5 players graduating this year on Friday.
Just out of the catcher's reach. Well, we certainly wish them well. You know, still quite a bit of baseball to be played. Tournament play, though, you've got to win to keep on playing. 5 wins in this tournament means you are the state champions. Outside. And bounces through the left batter's box to the backstop. Full count on Braden Tippenyuk. And that one's up high, ball 4. As is so often the case, Panthers get the leadoff runner on. You know, they always refer to a base on balls as a free pass. And with the offensively strong Panther lineup, you can't be giving them any freebies.
Well, I will say this pitcher, Aiden Musquata, threw quite a few pitches at Braden Tippanyuk there, and Tippanyuk was doing a lot of good protection in the strike zone, so it was kind of a tough battle of trying to find a place where you could put the ball where it wasn't easy for him to hit, but still inside the strike zone. But good pitching versus good batting.
Counts 0-2 on Jackson Campbell, third baseman for the Panthers. Mosqueda with a quick move over to first base. BT's off. Oh, lined right to the first baseman. That's a double play.
That's quite possibly the worst thing you would want to happen under those circumstances. You had Braden Tippanyuk taking a lead, going for the steal. A line drive directly to the first baseman, which made it easy to beat the tag. That's a tough situation. Pioneers got 2 outs.
Unassisted double play by Mark Sr., first baseman for West Boylston. Alex McClellan lifts it out to left field. And Jamison LaPointe puts it away. That's going to retire the side. Nothing for the Panthers in the first inning. We've got 1 inning complete here in Northfield. We've got a scoreless tie. Please check out our sponsors here during the break, and we'll be back with more Panther Tournament baseball right here on BNC TV. Welcome back. This is third baseman Jack Petro at the plate for West Boylston. Big rip. Counts 0-2. Jack's going to be followed by presumably his brother Jacob, who's the right fielder today. Fouled off the hands. Stays alive. After the Petros, pitcher Aiden Mosqueda will be at the plate. Here in the top of the second. I'm talking during the break, rather unfortunate that Jackson Campbell lined out to the first baseman. And Hodas patrolling his hayfield. Makes the one-handed catch. 1 out here in the top of the second inning.
course, typical shift we see here with the players. Ben Werner usually occupying that center field position. Hodis Hayfield Gerard in right, but with Werner on the mound, that moves over Gerard to center and Jack Glazier out here in right field.
This is Jacob Petro. He is the right fielder for West Boylston. Swung right through that. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pounded into the ground. Werner's got it. Over to E.T. 2 down. Good fielding play by pitcher Ben Werner.
Yeah, excellent job. Out of all the positions, pitcher, you're still finishing your follow through. It's hard to kind of jump on the ball that comes back at you like that. Did a great job.
Aiden Mosqueda, pitcher for West Boylston. Pitcher on pitcher here. Nice pitch by Werner. That one's just low. Two and one on the West Boylston pitcher. Fouled back, out of play. Nearly hit a blue Chevy. And somebody walking across the parking lot. Made the nice play. Fooled him, swung on a missed strike 3. That's going to retire the side. Ben Werner took a little off that one. Got it right past his counterpart. For the Lions in the second, 3 up, 3 down. Nothing across. We're in the middle of the second inning here in Northfield. We've got no score. We'll be back in a moment with more Panther Tournament baseball right here on BNC TV.
All right, we are back.
Ethan Quinn leading off here in the bottom of the second inning. Pounds that down. Shortstop's got it. Over to... Oh, and Ethan Quinn beats it out.
Ball gets away a little bit. Good backup by the catcher coming all the way down the baseline to back up first baseman. I feel like you don't see that too often. Usually you see the right fielder kind of come down and do some extra backup.
Dare I say that's a little bit old school there when I caught back in the prehistoric era, the Mesozoic era, as it were. Had to run all the way down to first. Probably the last time I ever ran in my life.
It was rock ball, right?
Yes, it was. Fred Flintstone was the pitcher. Here's Ethan Mothy. Takes that one just up high, ball one. Mothy will be followed by Evan Tippenyuk here in the bottom of the second. Quinn with a comfortable lead off first. Pitcher steps off, trying to get his bearings. Quinn's going. Head first slide, he's in safely. Ball goes into center field, backed up nicely by Steve Simpson. More of that Panther aggressive base running. Quinn in scoring position now. Got nobody out here in the top of the or bottom of the second.
Thank you.
And it's a 4-pitch walk to Ethan Mothy. Sets up the force play at any bag. Evan Tippenyuk stepping in. Has an opportunity to give the Panthers an early lead. Once again, pitcher steps off. And steps off again. Apparently didn't like the sign from the catcher. Quinn's going. Slides in under the tag head first. More aggressive base running by Ethan Quinn. Panthers have runners on the corners. Out into center field. Quinn tags at third. He scores. It's 1-0 Pioneer. Sacrifice fly for Evan Tippenyuk.
Successful deep hit there. Perfect thing to do when you got no outs. Send it deep enough where it's real easy to get Quinn home. And that's also what made that third base steal so crucial. Get Pioneer on the board.
That's what we call a manufactured run. Smart, aggressive base running. Ethan Mothy still on first base. This is Brody Welcome at the plate. Muscata steps off. Mothy going. He slides under the tag. That one was close, but he got in there safely.
It's kind of tough to see it from this angle, but at first glance from what I was seeing, it looked like Ethan Mothy chose to kind of slide on the opposite side of where the ball or the tag was coming from. So if it kind of sweeps from third base across, I think Ethan slid into the right side of the bag. Yeah, gives him that extra precious few seconds to get in there before the tag.
Yep, that's a great observation, Tyler. That's exactly what he did. That's a skill unto itself to be able to directionalize your slide. Brody Welcome takes a walk. Panthers with runners on first and second. One out here in the bottom of the second inning. Panthers on top 1-0. Pitcher Ben Werner coming up. Benny's got a chance to help his cause here. First pitch swinging. Drops into right center field. That's a base hit. Mothy holds up at third base. Welcome at second. Bases are loaded for Jack Glazier.
Well, with one out, it's unfortunate Feel like if Mothy had just gone for it, he would have made it home. But you got to double check on that catch. It was a very close call by Steve Simpson whether or not he was going to be able to catch that. And if he was going to catch that, you want to tag up. You don't want to repeat of that first inning.
Yeah, that's for sure. Jack Glazier up with the bases loaded. Still only one out. Jack takes that one up high, 1-0. Just missed 2-0. I'll give you a trivia question, Tyler. Which professional wrestler's real name was Steve Simpson? No rush on that one. Just remind me later on. And strike one on the inside corner, 2-1.
I'm assuming I cannot cheat and consult the Google on that one.
Well, despite the old Jesse Ventura line of win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat, we don't play that way here.
Fair enough.
Jack fouls it in front of the West Boylston bench. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, assuming it's within the historical crosshairs of my wrestling experience, I'm just going to go ahead and say it's Macho Man Randy Savage.
Close, but no cigar. Although the connection,
Macho Woman Randy Savage.
Although the connection with Randy Savage and baseball is that he was a minor league catcher in the Cincinnati Red system. And that's a walk for Jack Glazier. Forces in a run. It's 2-0 Pioneer. Give Jack Glazier an RBI for that one. Bases remain loaded. Just one out.
You know, coming up to we're back to the top of the lineup. And, I mean, we've talked about how everybody is strong in this Pioneer lineup, but the strength of these opening 5 batters is not a situation you want to be in with one out and bases loaded.
Yeah, and catcher Don Renzoni came out to have a conference with Aiden Muscata, trying to settle him down. Not sure of the depth of the West Boylston pitching staff. Shortstop runs right over it. He tried to barehand it. Ball got stuck in the grass. Everybody's safe. Panthers lead 3-0. That was BT at the plate. This is Jackson Campbell. Jackson first pitch swinging. Fair ball in right field. Another Panther run scores. Bases remain loaded. It's 4-0.
Very interesting situation. Popped up a little bit more, but very identical to the line drive that he had in the first inning.
Yeah, definitely the same direction on it. Elevated a little more. And from the frying pan into the fire, here's Alex McClellan, still with the bases loaded, only one out. Alex flew out to left fielder Jamison LaPointe to end the first inning. With him at the plate, the Panthers have batted around here in the second. Takes strike one. 1-1 on the Panther shortstop. High and away, 2-1. After Alex, right back to Ethan Quinn again, who manufactured the first run of this inning for the Panthers. Alex sends it deep into center field. Simpson's under it, makes the catch. Glazier tags from third, he scores. BT tags, advances over to third. It's 5-0 Pioneer.
Another solid sacrifice fly.
And with 2 outs, here's Ethan Quinn. Of course, if you were tuned in for that Western Mass Championship game last week, kind of a strange first inning for both sides in that one. Campbell's off. Quinn hits the ball. Shortstop's got it. Over to first base. Once again, he beats it out for another infield hit. BT scores from third. It's 6-0 Pioneer. I'll talk trivia questions, Tyler. How often do you have 2 infield hits in the same inning? That is a rarity.
I don't know. I'll get the BNC TV think tank to start digging that up as soon as they're done with finding out the wrestler.
Here's Ethan Mothy. Over to third base. Force play is going to retire the side for the Panthers. 6 big runs on 5 base hits. After 2 complete here in Northfield, Pioneer leads this one 6-0. Don't go anywhere. We've got more of this fantastic MIAA D5 tournament game coming up in a moment right here on BNC TV.
Top of the third inning. Pioneer opening this game wide up with a 6-run lead in the second.
Big second inning for the Panthers as they batted around. 6 big tallies crossing the plate. Lions getting things started off with first baseman Mark Sr. He'll be followed by Kaysen Oceani and Jamison LaPointe here in the top of the third inning. Fouled back out of play. Oh, fan tried to make the catch. No dice. They used to do in Baltimore. If a fan caught a foul ball, the announcer would get on the house mic and say, "Give that man a contract." Well, not for that guy. Low and away, it's 2-2 on Mark Sr. Not to confuse things, but Senior is a sophomore.
You know, I was thinking that when I was writing it down, the lineup. I was thinking senior. Would be a sophomore and just a...
Swung on and missed, strike 3. To make sure for the put out, BT throws down to ET. 4th strikeout of the day for Ben Werner. Brings up Kaysen Oceani, the shortstop. You know, Tyler, yesterday you were mentioning the team from Hull. So I made sure I did my little research before I got here this afternoon. Hull has been eliminated from the D5 tournament by Hopedale, 13-4. So you won't see Hull anytime soon.
Of course, the context that I was bringing it up is they just so happen to be a school that is difficult to get to.
McClellan's throws low, scooped up nicely by E.T. Nice stretch and scoop by Evan Tipeniuk. 9th batter in the West Boylston lineup, Jamison LaPointe, left fielder. Panthers on top by a half a dozen. First pitch swinging, popped up. Hodis is under it. And that's going to retire the side. For West Boylston in the 3rd inning, 3 up, 3 down, nothing across. In the middle of inning number 3, Pioneer 6. West Boylston, no score. Stay tuned for more Panther baseball right here on BNC TV.
Welcome back, folks.
So, Tyler, I know you had a great graphic for the softball bracket yesterday. Have you been able to find anything for this D5 baseball bracket?
Absolutely do. Just an easy screenshot and
look at that.
And put a little circle over it. And this is a small piece of the extensive bracket that we have going on here. And this is, of course, the bracket that once teams have been eliminated will move on to a round of 8 against a lower similar bracket, but you can see Pioneer there, number 1 seed, playing West Boylston after they took over Bourne. And yeah, that's where we are in our piece of the tournament. We'll give you some more updates as we move along.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that graphic. Bottom of the 3rd, here's Evan Tipeniuk. E.T. had a sacrifice fly and a run batted in last inning. Big contribution to that big 6-run inning by Pioneer. Nice block by Renzoni behind the plate. So as we look around at some of the other D5 matchups this afternoon down at Veterans Field in Greenfield, the Green Wave were hosting. Tipeniuk grounds it into left field for a base hit. E.T. reaches first base safely to get the 3rd inning started. Nice diving attempt by Oceani at shortstop. That brings up DH Brody Welcome. Brody walked and scored last inning. So starting to say the Green Wave are hosting 25th ranked Ayer Shirley. That game is probably over by now, but we don't have a final score. Welcome with the bunt. Advances E.T. to second base. He's out at first. Really tried to leg it out, so it's not really a sacrifice. But got the job done anyway. 1 out. Here's Ben Werner. That's outside, ball one. In other D5 action, number 5 ranked Ware eliminated 28th ranked East Hampton by a 10-1 score. Ware advances to the Sweet 16 with that one. In the dirt, bounces away. ET over to third, slides in head first, under the tag. Good base running by Evan Tippenyuk. Puts a Panther runner at third with just one out. Werner with a good hitters count, 2-0. Swung right through that one. Muscata took a little off that one. 2 balls and a strike on the Panther pitcher. Sliced up the middle for a base hit. Werner helps his own cause, drives in a run. It's 7-0 Pioneer.
Great job by Ben Werner.
And here's Jack Glazier. Jack walked with the bases loaded last inning. He rips one into left center field. Werner takes around second. He's over to third base. Panthers, runners on the corners with one out.
A lot of contributing to that with Werner being able to take 2 on that was you could see he kind of took off, had a little bit of a steal and got, it was a perfect situation. I feel like more often than not, we see somebody starting the steal and then a foul ball or something like that force them to kind of give up the secret.
Glazier took off to steal second. Catcher threw down to third. Werner was back in safely. Panthers, 2 runners in scoring position here in the bottom of the third inning. Just one out. Pitches outside to Braden Tippenyuk. BT is walked and singled. Takes that one inside. 3-0. Strike on the outside corner. 3-1. Jackson Campbell on deck for Pioneer. Long fly ball, left field. LaPointe gets under that. Werner tags and scores. Glazier holds at second base. It's 8-0 Pioneer. Jackson Campbell coming up. Had that unfortunate line out, unassisted double play in the first inning. Made amends last inning. Bloop single down the right field line, scoring a run. Glazier takes third, standing up. Just missed outside, 2-0. Other D5 action today at 5 o'clock. 35th ranked Pathfinder is out in North Adams to take on number 3 Drury. Comes inside, spun Jackson around. On the opposite side of the bracket from the Panthers. Strike one, 3-1. Number 6, Hopkins Academy, hosting number 27, Munson. That was a 4 o'clock game this afternoon. Ground ball. Second baseman over to first. That's going to retire the side. Chalk up 2 more Panther runs. We've got 3 innings complete here in Northfield. Pioneer leads this one 8-0. please take a look at our sponsors. They certainly help us out, so please help them out. And we'll be back with more Panther Tournament Baseball right here on BNC TV and worldwide on YouTube.
Cursor on.
Time for the Panthers' fourth inning. If you were with us to see the top of the fourth, you got to see that Panther defense work their magic. Pretty much as they've been all season. Ultra reliable. This is Alex McClellan getting things started off in the bottom of the fourth. Fouls that one out of play on the left side. It's 0-2. Alex flew out to left fielder Jamison LaPointe in the first inning. Hit a sacrifice fly out to Steve Simpson in center in the second. His third plate appearance of the day. Foul ball to stay alive, 1-2. Elsewhere in the D5 games, this afternoon in Bromfield, number 23 Franklin Tech went out to take on number 10 Bromfield, and McClellan lines it into center field for a base hit. Another game that is probably over by now. Battle out in North Adams. Number 19, McCann, taking on number 14. Oh, I take it back. That's in Athol. Number 14, Athol. McClellan goes. Head first slide. He didn't even think twice. Got up with his customary half pound of dirt on his uniform and headed right over to third.
I didn't even think Alex took a look to the outfield. Sounds like he was just giving 100% of his eyes and ears on the third base coach.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way it's done. Here's Ethan Quinn. Ethan with a couple of infield singles so far today. Fly ball. And right fielder Jacob Petro puts that away. McClellan's aggressive base running. Sees him cross the plate. It's 9-0 Pioneer. Long sacrifice fly by Ethan Quinn. Another run that the Panthers manufactured by their aggressive base running. Base is clear. Here's Ethan Mothy. Ethan, first pitch swinging. Orsiani at shortstop. Over to first base.
Nice job by Orsiani.
Brings up first baseman Evan Tipeniuk. E.T. with a sacrifice fly in the second inning and a run batted in. Singled and scored last inning. Ball gets past Don Renzoni. Nobody on base. No worse for the wear. No harm, no foul. E.T. rips it into left center field. That's in for a base hit. He's going to get extra bases. Stand-up double for Evan Tipeniuk.
Well, with his brother, Braden Tipeniuk, already exceeding the 100 hits in his high school career, I would say, Evan is sitting in a good place to meet that before he graduates as well. It's a great hitter.
Here's Brody Welcome, DH. Swung over the top of that one. We've got 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth inning. There you see Evan Tipeniuk leading off second. Brody takes that one right down Broadway, 0-2. It's up high, 1-2. Called, strike 3. That's going to retire the side. Chalk up another Panther run. 1 runner left on base. After 4 complete, Pioneer leads this one 9-0. Stay tuned for more Panther Tournament Baseball right here on BNC TV. Time for the top of the 5th inning. Pitcher Aiden Mosqueda getting things started off. Aiden struck out back in the 2nd. Thank you to Sam Browning Trucking. Appreciate all our sponsors here on BNC TV. Of course, Sam Browning, Shaw's Convenience, Sweet Lucy's, and Pioneer Valley Tire. Ethan Quinn backhands it over to first base. Nice play.
No, absolutely. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without our wonderful sponsors, Pioneer Valley Trucking, Sweet Lucy's Bakeshop, Shaw's Convenience Store just over the border into New Hampshire, and, of course, sponsor that's been with us for 2 seasons, Sam Browning Jr. Trucking.
Here is sophomore Mark Sr., first baseman. Struck out in the 3rd. Fouled back, 0-2. Mark struck out in the 3rd inning. Put out went from Tippanyuk to Tippanyuk for the out. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Ben Werner bringing the heat on that one. Brings up shortstop Kaysen Orsiani. Ben Werner. No nonsense. Just misses up high, 1-1. Ball and 2 strikes. Ben's really popping BT's mitt. You hear it all the way out here in right field. Just missed on the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the West Boylston shortstop. Sliced down the right field line. It's a fair ball. About 6 inches inside the foul line. Jack Leisure hustled, got the ball in, held him to a single. And Coach Kevin Loopold comes to the mound.
I think we may have Evan Tippenyuk coming in.
You may be right.
It looks like he's switching gloves.
And as we've noted before, really want to closely monitor pitch counts. And even though this is the 5th inning today, Ben has faced just above the minimum amount of batters.
Definitely. I think, of course, it's less likely that Ben has been doing a great job, and I think he could finish this game. But, Coach Leupold has to think about, the next 5 games. He has to think about, what teams he might be playing. As you said, the pitch count, whether or not Werner is going to be really important to be some sort of relief in a future game that might be happening later on this week. We're not sure, Wednesday, Thursday, something in that area. We'll keep you posted on that. But the strategy of limiting his pitch count and making sure that he has enough left in him to be available in a future game is just an important strategy.
And while ET is getting his warm-up tosses in, Ben Werner's going to take over in center field. Had their traditional warm-up game of, looks like, hat cornhole out there. A couple of great tosses. So we're going to have ET on the mound, Evan Tippenyuk. Hodis comes over to right field. Jack Glazier goes in to play first base for Pioneer. We've got 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Here you see Evan getting his last warm-up throw in. Lions have a runner on first base. And this is going to be Jamison Lapointe, left fielder. Lapointe flew out to Hodis when he was out in center field. Fouled into the parking lot. You see the ball rolling. All vehicles are safe. This time, 0-1 on Lapointe. Couldn't lay off that high hard, went 0-2. Runner took off. Long fly ball. That's going to drop in. West Boylston on the board. A long double by Jamison Lapointe. It's 9-1.
What a beautiful hit.
Yeah, actually reminiscent of the one Evan Tippenyuk had for the Panthers last inning. Same location out there, deep left center field. You see LaPointe leading off second. Is back to the top of the order, Steve Simpson. Not to be confused with Nikita Koloff. One ball, one strike on the West Boylston center fielder. Line drive, Ethan Quinn's right there to put it away. That's going to retire the side. West Boylston scores their first run of the game on 2 base hits, 1 runner left. In the middle of inning number 5, Pioneer leads this one 9-1. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with more Panther Tournament Baseball right here on BNC TV. Panthers up in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's Ben Werner. Rips one. That's past the center fielder. Petro's over to grab it. Ben Werner, first pitch hitting, stand-up double.
Off the hill and into the outfield.
Ben Werner making it happen today for Pioneer. Here's Jack Glazier. Jack has walked and singled. That walk was with the bases loaded. Easiest RBI he's ever going to get. That one's high and away, 2-0. Orsiani with a nice pickup. Ran over towards second base, got the backhand. Threw Glazier out at first. Werner advances to third. Always dangerous to run when the ball is in front of you like that. One out, back to the top of the Panther lineup. Here's Braden Tipeniuk. BT with a couple of runs batted in today. Good pitch by Moscata on the outside corner. Fly ball out to right field. That drops in for a hit. BT with his 3rd run batted into the day. Ben Werner scores. It's 10-1. And that'll bring up Jackson Campbell. Thought about bunting, pulled the bat back. Down low for ball 1. Another one down low. Got some warm-up activity down in the West Boylston bullpen. Called strike, 2-1 on Campbell. Muscata steps off. And Campbell's safe at first. Throw was low from Jack Petro. Senior couldn't scoop it at first base. Panthers threatening again. Runners on first and second. And Coach West Boylston comes out to the mound, having a conversation with his pitcher. His pitcher hasn't done too badly today. It's just those Pioneer bats are once again en fuego.
Well, no matter who the pitcher is, Pioneer has such a versatile batting squad.
Well, we say it so often, Tyler, top to bottom. There's not a weakness anywhere in this Panther batting order. And this certainly is the case today as shortstop Alex McClellan comes to the plate. That one's inside. Ball gets past the catcher. Runners advance. Panther runners on second and third now with just one out. We are in the bottom of the fifth inning here in Northfield. This is the MIAA, Mass Interscholastic Athletic Association, D5 state tournament, round of 32 matchup. That one's high and away.
And we were talking a little bit about some of the bracket things going on, and did a little research, and the top 5 seeds in the Division 5 tournament, we're looking at Pioneer number 1, English High number 2, Drury 3rd, Hopedale 4, Ware is 5, Hopkins 6, Charlestown 7, Greenfield 8. Now, amongst these 8 teams, depending on how things go within the bracket, Pioneer is going to face any one of those teams. Greenfield, if they're going to face off Greenfield, it will be in round 8 if things go well in the bracket. Of course, check the MIAA tournament bracket for more details and a much more elaborate display so that you can see exactly what we're talking about. But Pioneer will be seeing that, possibly seeing Greenfield in round 8. They wouldn't see the number 4 or 5 seed Hopedale Ware, respectively, until round 4. And the other ones mentioned, English High, Drury, Hopkins, Charlestown, they're going to have to battle it out amongst themselves before any of them get a crack at Pioneer, the number 1 seed. Of course, that's all we'll expecting that Pioneer makes it all the way through to the championship game.
So we've got a pitching change here. Formerly catcher Don Renzoni, number 4, takes the mound for West Boylston. Not sure right now who's catching. Trying to get a look at his number. But Tyler, can you put that graphic back up of the area
Sure.
of the bracket where the Panthers are? Take a look at what the next matchup might be. And it looks like...
Well, this was an old pick. It's probably updated by now, whether or not Georgetown and Lennox,
I believe
what the
Georgetown...
results are of that.
I believe Georgetown won that game. I'm going to try and multitask here while Renzoni gets his warm-up throws in.
And Georgetown, last year, I forget what the seed was, but they were the upset in the Final Four against Pioneer last year out there at the Worcester State baseball stadium. And Georgetown fell to English High.
Yeah, that's right.
Last year. So, and it was a very good game, the Georgetown versus Pioneer game. So very interesting to see where Georgetown is now seeded at number 16. I want to say that they were the second seed last year. Maybe they were the first seed, with English High being the second seed. I can't remember. But just interesting details, and it's always easy to speculate about what can happen, but of course we always got to take it one game at a time.
Ethan Quinn at the plate. Looks like Gabe Marinelli is now catching for
And we have bases loaded.
West Boylston. Ethan Quinn, 2 hits, 2 runs batted in so far today. Panthers with the bases loaded, just 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Takes that one down low. 2 balls, 1 strike on Ethan Quinn. Another one low and away, 3-1, nowhere to put him. Long drive, right fielder puts it away. BT tags at third, he scores. Another sacrifice fly for Ethan Quinn. Panthers open up a 10-run lead. McClellan and Campbell held their bases. We got 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Ethan Mothy at the plate. That one's outside for ball 1. Fouled out of play. Campbell's going. Mothy lines it. Orsiani's got it. Over to first base. That's going to retire the side. Add 2 more runs for the Panthers in the 5th inning after 5 complete. Panthers 11, West Boylston 1. Don't go anywhere. More Panther baseball in a moment right here on BNC TV. Top of the 6th inning. Foul ball. Just off the bleachers. Everybody appears safe. That's always a good thing.
Most certainly don't need anybody getting hit by the ball. Don't even really like seeing the batters have that happen to them.
Xander Sanchez pops it up. McClellan's right there, puts that away, 1 out. Brings up the pitcher, Don Renzoni. Don has struck out, reached on a fielder's choice today. Strike 1. Just missed. 1-1. That is Evan Tipeniuk on the mound for Pioneer. Came on in relief of Ben Werner last inning. That one's lifted foul out of play. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes on the West Boylston pitcher. Lined up the middle. Quinn's got it. Got him at first base.
Wow.
Put a star next to that one if you're keeping score at home, folks. Ethan Quinn, an amazing backhanded stop. Presence of mind to turn around, get it over to Jack Lazier with a dandy scoop and stretch. Nice play, fellas. Third baseman Jack Petro at the plate. Jack flew out to center in the 2nd inning. He also reached down a fielder's choice in the 4th. Panthers up by a 10 spot. Quickly 0-2. Quinn's got it. Over to first base. With a 10-run margin, I think that's going to be the game. But West Boylston's coming out to the field, so...
It is my understanding that that 10-run rule has to be by the 5th inning, and if it gets waived, then they're probably going to continue and go through to the full 7.
No such thing as a bad thing when it's more baseball right here at Pioneer. Panthers lead this one 11-1. Please check out our sponsors, and we'll be back in a moment right here on BNC TV. Tyler, I got to thank you for adjusting the aperture. Unfortunately, they decided to start the inning before you got back here.
Yes, they did. And I've never been such a weird mix of excitement.
Well, you just catch your breath. I'll bring everybody up to speed. Evan Tippenyuk, first pitch hitting, rifled a double out into left center field. That was his second consecutive double. Brody Welcome just popped out to the second baseman. E.T. had stolen third base, so the Panthers have a runner on third, just one out here in the bottom of the sixth. And now that that aperture has been adjusted, we got a good look at Ben Werner. Ball gets away from the catcher. E.T. holds his position at third base.
And of course, if you hate the idea of us starting late because we have to fix things in the center field camera, you'd like to sit out in center field and babysit a camera, make those kind of adjustments for us.
Boy, wouldn't that be
Give
something?
us a call, send me an email. Many hands make light work.
Please check us out, bnctv.net. And the whole shortstop's got it. High throw. Ben Werner is safe at first. E.T. scores. It's 12-1. What's that phone number, Tyler?
413-648-6300. If you managed to get a hold of us, you caught us at the 1 out of 10 times that we're in the office and not out here doing productions, whether it's sports, select boards, or other community events.
Yes, more than likely you're going to get voicemail. But I promise you Tyler will give you a call back, or maybe Otis. Jack Leisure at the plate. Oh, and 2 on the Panther first baseman.
Thank you.
Oh, I think it's 2-1. I don't know what game I'm watching, Tyler. Werner steals second. Glazier launches that one foul.
No metallic thunks. Everyone's vehicle is safe.
This time.
This time, indeed.
Glazier called out on strikes. Back to the top of the Panther lineup. Here's Braden Tippenyuk. BT, 2 singles, 3 ribbies today. Werner leading off second. Here you see number 7. Two and 0 on the Panther catcher. There goes Werner. Foul ball. He's got to come back to second.
You always hate seeing that. I think the some of the effectiveness of stealing is having that surprise, and giving that away can kind of allow the team to prepare for you to steal.
Ball gets away from the catcher. Werner goes over to third. He's in safely.
And sometimes all the preparation in the world can't stop you from a good hustle.
Boy, that is so true. Orsiani over to senior. That's going to retire the side. One more Panther run here in the 6th inning. We've got 6 innings in the books here in Northfield. Panthers 12. Lions 1. Big 7th inning coming up. West Boylston's last chance. Going to need to really make the magic happen. Don't go anywhere. We'll have that for you in a minute right here on BNC TV. West Boylston's last chance. Got a pinch hitter up there. That's David Shenna. David batting for Jacob Petro. Got it all going on, Tyler. Mosquitoes, black flies. Some strange kind of beetles out here.
Well, you know, there's this perfect middle ground of like the wind that's knocking equipment over and no wind at all and every insect possible coming at us. I'm sure there's a middle ground we can hit.
And E.T. puts that one away. Couldn't tell if he was in foul territory. It was very close. Here's Aiden Moscata. Aiden started the game on the mound for West Boylston. Lifts that one out to center field. Werner's running in. Puts that one away. 2 out. And the Lions down to their final out. And this is another pinch hitter. This is Alex Silver looking to keep things alive. West Boylston down to their last strike. Just missed. Chopped foul out of play. Once again, no damage in the parking lot. Called strike 3. That's the ball game. For West Boylston in the 7th. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across. Panthers win this one and advance to the Sweet 16 with a 12-1 victory over the West Boylston Lions. You see the teams shaking hands. Just another dominant effort today by the Pioneer Panthers. Certainly deserving of that #1 seed in D5. Reviewing the scorecard, Braden Tipeniuk leading the way. 3 runs batted in today, couple of hits and a sacrifice fly. Ethan Quinn, there's 2 scratch singles in the second inning. He had 3 RBIs on the day as he paired that with a pair of sacrifice flies. Evan Tipeniuk, Mr. Everything today. 3 big hits. Scored 2 runs. A couple of monster doubles out of E.T. Ben Werner, starting pitcher today for Pioneer. Had 3 big hits. Run batted in, scored 3 times. As has been the case all season long, everybody contributed today for Pioneer. Werner came out in the 5th inning. Evan Tipeniuk came in to mop up and 1 blemish. First batter he faced, rifled a double, scored a run. Other than that, this one was definitely all Pioneer. And Pioneer advances to the Sweet 16.
Very interesting. Just looking at an updated graphic, looks like Georgetown beat Lennox 3-1 yesterday. So Pioneer will have a chance at vengeance, if you like to put it that way, against Georgetown, of course. Georgetown being the team that Pioneer fell to in the Final Four. But to be honest, going from a ranking last year of, I think, 2 and dropping down to 16, I have a feeling that Georgetown has lost a considerable amount of seniors on their team. But
yeah, and this is the thing. You make a good point, Tyler. This is the thing about high school athletics is the development system can be there, but once you get to the varsity level, there are no guarantees. And
that is true.
A lot of times teams will see a lot of student athletes graduate, even in some cases go on to play club sports, so they get away from high school athletics, which is really unfortunate. So we'll see what the future holds. And, of course, Pioneer, being the #1 seed, will be hosting that game. Don't have a day and time yet. I'm inclined to think it might be Thursday, but that is sheer speculation at this point in time.
Well, we're still knee-deep in a lot of, like, end-of-school year things going on. There's the Pioneer graduation on Friday. There's some awards night on Wednesday. There's just a number of things going on that really weeds out what day is a possibility. So, I mean, if it's not Thursday, I hate to think that they would play tomorrow. You know, doing back-to-back games. But you got to think about weather, too. And if it's not Thursday and it's not tomorrow, we got a thunderstorm coming in and some rain over the weekend. So may either Thursday or if it holds off until Sunday, you know, a lot of things to figure out.
Yeah, and the thing to keep in mind is that Polar Park has already been reserved. So there's a tight timeline to get all these games in. I believe the state finals are on the Saturday the 14th in Worcester. So we've got to squeeze in potentially 5 games in a 2-week span, which is not unheard of. But when you take the extenuating factors into play of trying to get everybody scheduled all at the same time, and the thing that we've dealt with a lot this season is the unpredictable Massachusetts weather. So we're going to have to wait and see what MIAA chooses to schedule. And, you know, it may very well be tomorrow. But as we always want to say, stay tuned to BNC TV. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know, I love my YouTube. And we will if we're able to bring the game to you, we will certainly have it posted on YouTube and presumably on BNC TV.
Absolutely. When we, I do my due diligence to try and find out this information, and things can change, as we saw over the weekend. I believe this game was originally meant to be played at noon yesterday, and things got changed because West Boylston had to play a game the previous day they had to play that preliminary round in order to make it to this game. So a shuffle for one game can wind up shoving just everything ahead. So stay posted. Check out the MIAA website. As Lou said, follow BNC TV on YouTube or on our Facebook. And when we know that we're going to be able to cover it, you'll know that we're covering it. And that is it for a beautiful afternoon. Lou, thank you so much for being here, calling this game with me. Really
Tyler,
appreciate it.
Nowhere I'd rather be. Bugs and everything. It's been a dandy, and it's just been a joy to watch these Pioneer Panthers all season long. Certainly have earned their #1 ranking in Division 5. End of the season for the West Boylston Lions. Hats off to them. They put up a gallant fight, but just couldn't compete. Pioneer top to bottom, pillar to post, just having a terrific season. And all we know at this point is the #1 seeded Pioneer Panthers will be hosting Georgetown here at Pioneer. Don't have that schedule yet, as Tyler said. Please stay tuned to BNC TV on your cable. Also on the YouTube channel. One of my favorites. I'm subscribed to that. You should do that too. And for the executive producer of Bernardston-Northfield Community Television, Mr. Tyler Borbo, I am Lou Bordeaux. Thanking you for your time this time, and until next time, so long from Northfield.